Going to start with an update on counter-ISIL operations. I want to first highlight significant progress in northern Syria, where Turkish-backed Syrian opposition forces supported by the coalition liberated 6 towns and villages from ISIL, including the town of Dabiq. Freeing Dabiq over the weekend holds military and symbolic significance. Dabiq was so important to ISIL's propaganda machine that the terror group's magazine was named after this town. ISIL carried out barbaric atrocities in Dabiq and even claimed that its final victory will take place there. Instead, its forces have been defeated in Dabiq, just as they've been from territory across Syria and in Iraq. We applaud the Turkish and Syrian opposition forces who took part in the battle to liberate the people of Dabiq from ISIL oppression. And as you saw in the Secretary's statement yesterday, we particularly appreciate the close coordination we've had with Turkey in this effort. Now, this morning in Iraq, as announced by Prime Minister Abadi, Iraqi security forces, with the support of the counter-ISIL coalition, began operations to liberate Mosul. They started moving at 6 a.m. Baghdad time. This is a decisive moment in the counter-ISIL campaign. It is in Mosul that ISIL's leader chose to announce its so-called caliphate. Mosul is also historically a diverse, multi-ethnic, multi-sectarian city, precisely the opposite of ISIL's hate-filled ideology. So Mosul carries a great deal of symbolic importance in this fight as well. But more than a symbol, Mosul is also a city of more than 1 million people. Over 2 years, ISIL has brutalized the city's population, committing horrific atrocities. This is a fight to free hundreds of thousands of innocent Iraqis from ISIL's rule. This fight is taking place with Iraqis firmly in the lead, including thousands of Iraqi army personnel, counterterrorism forces, and federal police. Kurdish Peshmerga and Sunni tribal forces are also playing a critical role in this fight. They have the support of an international counter-ISIL coalition of 60 nations led by the United States, providing advice and assistance, logistical support, intelligence, and precision air power. The coalition has conducted more than 54,000 training cycles for Iraqi security forces. It has conducted more than 10,000 precision strikes in Iraq, including more than 70 in the Mosul area just this month. And Iraqi forces will have the continued support of the coalition as they move forward. The role of U.S. and coalition forces will continue to be one of supporting the ISF. We are on the first day of what we assume will be a difficult campaign that could take some time. Early indications are that Iraqi forces have met their objectives so far and that they are ahead of schedule for this first day. This is going according to the Iraqi plan, but again, it's early and the enemy gets a vote here. We will see whether ISIL stands and fights. We are confident, no matter what, however, that the Iraqis have the capabilities to get this job done, and we stand ready to support them along with the rest of the coalition. It is in our interest that they succeed, and we will do what we can to help them. First of all, just to put it in context again, we have, as we've talked about 5,000 U.S. forces in Iraq at this time, all part of this effort, part of the coalition to defeat ISIL. Many of those people are in enabler roles. They may be trainers. We've talked about the 12 Iraqi brigades that have been trained for this fight. Again, many of the U.S. forces have been part of that effort. We have a number of people providing logistical support to this effort. We've talked a lot about the effort to put Q West into a position to be sort of a forward staging area for this fight. That's a good example of some of the logistical support that's being provided. At each of these locations, of course, there might also be needs for force protection. Those are some of the U.S. forces. And we have some people in the train, advise, and assist mission as well with Iraqi forces. They've been primarily, up to this point, as we've indicated, at the headquarters level. The commander there, General Townsend, has had the authority to use advisors at a lower level. He has, up to this point, used that very sparingly. And as the course of this fight plays out, he'll determine what the appropriate use of our forces are in that context. But I'm not going to get into specific numbers today, particularly on the first day of this effort. But he will use that judiciously. And again, we've also separately, of course, been providing advise and assist roles with both the counterterrorism service, separate from the conventional Iraqi army, as well as the Peshmerga. And we'll continue to do that with Americans in a support role, providing advice and assistance to those forces as they conduct their operations. You asked specifically as well about The Apaches, my understanding on the Apaches is they have not been used so far in this effort, but the Apaches are a capability, a very potent capability that we are prepared to use. Should it be deemed by the commanders and the Iraqis that this is something that a capability that would make a difference in this fight. I want to emphasize that each and every one of these decisions are decisions that we are reaching with the Iraqis. We are not doing anything in this fight without the consent and approval of the government of Iraq.